What the narcissist does with people's energy. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So energy, this is an energetic transaction. It's an energetic exchange, and the narcissist stole from you. You see, the narcissist did not give willingly. They did not give authentically or genuinely. What they did is they wore a mask. They manipulated you into a relationship. Once that love bomb was over and their dirty fangs were sunken into you, it was too late. It was game, set, advantage, narcissist, until you found the channel, until you cracked that code and you found the needle in a haystack and you realized that, yes, you were targeted. Yes, the narcissist stole your energy and so much more. Yes, they did it intentionally. Yes, they did it knowingly, and they also knew that they were going to burn you out, steal whatever they could from you, crumble you up like a sheet of paper, and throw you away on the freeway via discard once they were finished taking or consuming whatever they could from you. Now, this video is not meant to upset you. It's meant to give you support and to let you realize that I'm giving you cold, hard facts. I'm giving you the truth, whereas many other people won't. Many people will share with you viewpoints and belief systems and ideas and mindsets that I don't subscribe to. I'm of the camp, because I lived it for years and I've been educating people for almost the same amount of years, that you need to go no contact. You need to block the narcissist. You need to remove them. You have to delete them. You have to remove and delete flying monkeys and all people associated with them, if not now, when. Now, to get from point A to point B, which means to block the narcissist, etc., you're going to have quite a long journey on the healing path. Remember, the healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time. And in your time, you will heal when you utilize the tools that I provide for you with each and every video I create, and from all the amazing, insightful, and comments full of wisdom from all over the globe. But this is what the narcissist does with people's energy. They consume it. They use it for their own. This is why the narcissist steals people's time, their relationships, their health, their money, their hopes, dreams, aspirations, and so much more. It's not until it's too late, usually, when we were in these relationships, that we realize that something's wrong. Now, in the beginning of the relationship, did we think something was amiss? Of course. But what did we do? We ignored our instincts. We did not trust our intuition. And we were hanging on by a thread, by a breadcrumb, if you will, to an unsustainable relationship. And the narcissist knew this. And we did the best we could to put out the fires that they were starting intentionally. But what the narcissist does or did with your energy and everyone else's energy is they want to confuse people. They want to trap them. They want people not living their best lives. And what the narcissist wants is they want all eyes on them, all minds, M-I-N-D-S, on them, which again is why the narcissist wants to live in people's minds rent-free. What that expression means, and I wish I didn't have to say it, but I've been saying it recently in videos, is the narcissist wants to encompass your energy, your mind, your purpose. They want you stunted. They don't want you advancing or growing. They don't want you elevating. They certainly don't want you healing, and they don't want you seeing behind the mask, because it would be too painful for the narcissist, and they would, just as they have hundreds of other times experienced a narcissistic injury, if you were to finally tell them, oh my gosh, I figured out who you are. This is why I've shared in so many videos. I would not call out the narcissist. I would not wish ill will upon them. I would not give the smear campaign any attention or life. What I would do is I would continue to focus on yourself. Remember, you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And there's no room in your life now, in the future, or ever going forward for toxicity. You were not educated on this in school or formally, so how could you know that another person who claimed that they loved you, maybe even walked down the aisle and got married to you, would turn out to be your worst enemy, your nightmare, your nemesis, your arch enemy, and worse? This is the person, yes, the narcissist, who did what they did because they knew that you had everything that they didn't have. They also knew you loved them, or you were in love with them. They also knew that you were committed and that you were giving to a fault. They also knew you had a high level of empathy, of energy, of time, possibly money, resources, insight, wisdom, purpose, direction, and you could figure out what the energy was every way possible, except for when it came to the narcissist, because you had a blind spot. So did I. That blind spot is what the narcissist took full advantage of. They manipulated that blind spot, and they made the blind spot bigger and bigger and bigger. And they began to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They began to plant seeds of mystery in your mind, plant seeds of wondering if you were good enough. Do you believe in yourself? What about your confidence? Let's talk about that for a minute. I can assure you your confidence went from probably being sky high to as low as it's ever been in your entire life. Guilty as charged here. Your confidence is one of the first things the narcissist takes from you. It's when, in the beginning, when you start submitting or giving into them. Example, say you went to restaurants and you loved Indian food and you loved whatever other Italian food and let's say Greek food, whatever it was. Okay, well, when you meet the narcissist, you're not grabbing Indian, Greek, and Italian. You're probably grabbing fast food somewhere on your dime, or you're grabbing overpriced meals on that huge plate that gives you a piece of lettuce and maybe a little particle of a mushroom or a strawberry, and they overcharge you, but you were paying for it every way possible. But see, you weren't doing what you wanted to do. Your attention and energy was being misdirected. It was being placed into the narcissist. And when you were doubting yourself, you began to lose your sense of self and you lost your confidence. Now, did the narcissist know you lost your confidence? I can assure you they did. Did they tell you that? In subtle ways or in abusive ways, but they didn't put their arm around you and say, hey, I noticed that you're not as confident as you used to be. What can we do to help you out? How can we build that or boost that confidence back up? They didn't say that. When they realized you were cracking, you were falling apart, and that your confidence wasn't nearly where it was when they first met you, all they did was lay on that gas pedal of abuse more. Remember, the narcissist knows one speed. You should know it by now. What is it? Ding, ding, ding. It's full speed ahead. And they want to abuse as many people during this thing called life as they possibly can. They want to trap as many people as they can. They want to use as many people's energy as they can for themselves and steal their ideas and everything else. And then they want to discard those people. Wash, rinse, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat, whatever that expression is. But what the narcissist did, they did it because they knew that that relationship that you were a part of, it would end one day because it did have an expiration date. So they tried to get as much as they possibly could. Not always, but many times as quickly as they could. Now you may say, well, hey, I was married to the narcissist for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They didn't move that quickly, but all of a sudden they have. What's going on? Well, what's going on is they've aged, as have you and as have I. But what they were doing for that last, say, 10, 20, 30, 40 years is they were taking everything they could from you, building and creating their own discard plan, not an exit plan, their discard plan. That's what these freaks create. And what they were doing there is trying to figure out how to discard you. When, where, and when they could get as much money, or how to drag out the legal system with the custody of the 401k or selling of the house, whatever they did. But they knew what they were doing. If you ever think for a minute the narcissist doesn't know what they're doing, think about this one. When you were in the relationship, if you would call them out or speak the truth and they would go radio silent on you, why do you think that was? The reason they would go radio silent on you is because they knew you were telling the truth. That was off their tiny little script that runs around in their head from Lucifer down below. They didn't know how to handle that or what to do or what to say. They would look at you. Maybe they would just leave. But then what would they do? They would regroup and they would come back and most likely attack you or bring that up in 10 minutes, in 20 minutes, in an hour, or at a later date. You see, this is why the narcissist is stuck in a loop. You're learning that now. You're understanding it. What the loop is, it's whatever that script dictates. And what it dictates usually is this: love bomb / euphoric stage, which is when they're trying to trap somebody; the devaluation stage, which is the longest part of the relationship; the ending, i.e. discard; and then at times a hoover. Remember, become unhooverable. Do not accept a hoover. Get off the radar of the narcissist. Understand these people don't care about you. They don't love you. They don't have your best interest at heart. They never have, and they never will. But while the narcissist is stuck in a loop, you're healing. And as you're healing, this is post-relationship, or as you figured it out, I can assure you your energy is returning. And you may say, you know what, my energy is returning. Why is it returning, Andrew? I'm not quite sure about that. I don't get it. It's returning because you're not doing things for the narcissist. You're not putting out their fires. You're not solving their problems. You're not sending them money knowing you'll never get it back again. You're not driving them or picking them up or waiting for them. You're not checking your phone every 5 minutes. You're not sending them a monologue of where you are and what you're doing when they will get back to you with one letter, the letter K, as if, Yawn, so boring. Thanks for checking in with me. I knew most of this, but now that you told me you're going to be busy for an hour, let's say it's Friday at 3 o'clock, I will now make sure I don't see you until next week because I'm going to punish you because you're not on my timeline. These are the things they do. And that's just one tiny little example of billions of things that these people do. But what they do is they burn up people's energy. And what they do is they take people's energy. Think about it. So let's say when you were working, say you had a 9-to-5 job when you were with the narcissist. Could you focus on your job when you were there? No, you couldn't. Was your job performance probably or possibly paying a price? Yes, it was. Why? Because you didn't have the clarity and you weren't getting sleep. You're being sleep deprived. If you had kids, you were being counter-parented, not co-parented. You couldn't put your socks on properly without them giving you a hard time. And you looked at your bank account, and in the beginning, before you met the narcissist, maybe you had a whole bunch of money. And you looked at your bank account now you're in the red. You're not in the black, you're in the red. And that credit card bill's mounting up. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not looking the way you used to. Maybe you have some bags under your eyes, or maybe you gained weight or lost weight. Or maybe you don't have the color or the life that you used to have. I can say all these things because I was at every one of these periods during my last X number of years on the healing path. It's not a pleasurable experience. That's why this is a journey for one person, to benefit one person. And it must be done by one person. And that person is you. You need to understand your time, your money, your energy, your empathy, your love, your relationships, your health, your hobbies, everything that you've ever had. And this is when you were in the relationship, and definitely now. It all belongs to you. The thing is, somebody swooped or swept into your life like a thief in the night, and they took everything they possibly could from you, and they blamed you for taking it. This is what the narcissist does, and this is what they're doing right now. The thing is, if you're out of the relationship, you need to stay out. If you've healed, you need to stay at the pinnacle of indifference. If this is the first video you're watching, continue to come back, watch videos, watch all of my 5,000 plus videos, get the education, get the wisdom, apply the tools, and realize this wasn't just you. It certainly wasn't just me. This is a person, a predator. Yes, the narcissist trying to attack as many people as they can during this thing called life. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is safe from the jaws or the clutches or the fangs of the narcissist. I wasn't, you weren't, and there are so many billions, yes, billions of people who have yet to go through these narcissistic relationships. Again, before I close the video, I really wish that narcissism didn't exist, not the people, but the behavior, the mindset, and the dysfunction and disorder. But it does exist, which is why I create videos every day. You need to understand that your energy and so much more was taken from you. It was stolen from you. And as you heal, it will be replenished, but it will be replenished by you. And you must remember this also, because a lot of people, when I say a lot, I mean, I'm hearing this in other videos now too, and it's catching on, which is great. People are beginning to understand, and I coined this expression in 2021. I'm going to say it to you right now that I'm closing this video. There are 3 versions of you. The first version of you is who you were before you met the narcissist. That was who you were, wearing rose-tinted glasses. You were naive. You were a clean slate. You were wearing your heart on your sleeve. You were vulnerable, and you didn't know toxicity existed, specifically that it had 2 legs. The second version of you is who you were when you were isolated and trapped, existing in the narcissistic fog, under the thumb of the narcissist. That's not who you want to be for even a second, but you didn't know that. Third version of you, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind, is the healed version. The person who has boundaries, the person who maintains boundaries, the person who uses their discernment, the person who has their energy returned in spades, the person who was in the cycle, who got out, rose through the ashes like a phoenix, dusted themselves off by the bootstraps, and went to work on themselves. And you're looking at somebody just like that. Yes, me. And guess what? That's what you're doing too. That's why you need to understand, yeah, you lost so much when you're in that relationship. One 14, 15-minute video won't do it justice. But if you're out, you stay out. When you're out, things return. When you're out, you need to heal. This is the relationship you need to heal from. And what you need to know is the narcissist intentionally targeted you. They saw who you were way before you knew who you were. And they said, yes, this person will do just fine for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship you were a part of, until they got whatever they needed to get from you or wanted to steal from you. And then another source of supply came along that they were grooming. That's why it's a cycle. And the cycle just keeps going around. and around and around. You're out. When you're out, you stay out. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Realize a few things. Yes, number one, I'm in a new location. 2, I hope the sound is okay. 3, this is a very good location. Number 4, the narcissist stole your energy, your time, your mindset, your relationships, your health, your hobbies, and so much more. It all will return in different ways, and it will return better than ever when you heal. You need to understand one thing. The narcissist, A, is everywhere. B, they will continue to swarm all around people who haven't put up boundaries. And C, those of us or those people in the community who haven't gone no contact, and you know who the narcissist is, and you've identified it, you've watched thousands of hours of videos, maybe every video I've ever created, you need to understand you're tempting fate. Don't tempt fate. Close the chapter of the book on the narcissist. Go no contact and move forward and away from the narcissist. Because if you don't, they will continue to try to consume you, your energy, your mindset, your money, your relationships, your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and your purpose. Don't allow that any longer. Close the chapter. If not now, when? I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.